Hello and welcome to Game/Quiz Show World! The pilot for a YouTube series on the third channel, The Weird Side, or the very first video on the YouTube channel, Game/Quiz Show World, where I talk about game shows and quiz shows from the UK and beyond, such as the US original version of Blockbusters, or the topic of today's video, Blockbusters UK.
Now you get to choose letters as we go during this game, except for the very first letter in each game, which is suggested to us by the flashing letter on the board. And don't forget, I'll tell you this just once in this particular game, anyone can answer any other questions any other time. Here's your first one, stand by the buttons. What S is the correct name of the pedal of a piano, sometimes called the la... Yes, Ruth?
Sustaining pedal.
Sustaining pedal is right. Well done.
So, Blockbusters UK. What can I say about that? Well, it aired on BBC Two, ITV, Sky One, and Comedy Central. Hosted by Bob Holness. Do apologise for mispronouncing his last name. Is the host of the BBC, of the original on ITV, and on Sky.
E, please.
E, certainly. What E in Dallas is played by Barbara Bel Geddes? That's Verity.
Miss Ellie.
Ellie is right. Well done.
Simon Mayo hosted the Challenge TV version, the Challenge channel that repeats Blockbusters quite often. Dara O'Brien did the Comedy Central version. Lisa Tarbuck did the second half of the Sky version. Bob Holness returned for the Sky version, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, he also did the BBC Two version. So, we've had adverted versions, non-adverted versions, and fun all the way. The last time we saw it was in 2016-17.
A, please.
A, the first letter there, which will take you further across. What A is the country that Paul Hogan comes from? They all go for the button there, but Ruth gets there first.
Australia.
Australia is correct. Well done.
The show, in its initial run, lasted of a team of two and a team of one. The team of one and the team of two were all university students, apart from a few versions, especially the Challenge version, hosted by Simon Mayo, had adults in the game. Stephen Merchant was a contestant on Blockbusters. The university element has gone further, with the Australian version having school children, so the element of students, because if you're in primary school or whatever you call it in Australia, you're still a student. So there are students. What makes this unique to most quiz shows is that you ask for a letter, the question's based on the letter. The board game is absolutely the only quiz show / game show board game that is as close to the TV program as it possibly can, because it's as simple as the TV program. There's not too much mechanics that the board game tries to do that the TV show couldn't.
C, please.
C is the next one. Here we go. What C is a Latin-sounding word for a riddle or puzzle? Alistair.
Conundrum.
Is right. Well done.
Why I love the show? Well, I love it for many reasons. I love it because, I don't know, I'm trying to think of exact reasons, but it's hard to determine a good reason to love this show. I think Blockbusters has a lot of excitement because you have the Gold Run, and I think the Gold Run is the most exciting segment in the show's formatted history. Because no matter how many times you change the format slightly and keep the Gold Run there, you always have more fun and games. I think the Comedy Central version didn't work as well due to the fact that Comedy Central wasn't known for quizzes, it was known for comedy. So Dara O'Brien hosted it, was trying to encourage comedy, but I think the celebrity versions are the versions that worked well for Comedy Central because of the comedy. I know The Weakest Link at the moment on BBC One is really popular with the celebrities, so I do think that if Comedy Central wanted Dara O'Brien back to do Blockbusters, they should do a celebrity Blockbusters, and that should just be it. Because I think that Comedy Central, because then they can make it more of a panel show type thing rather than a straightforward quiz show. And I think that Dara O'Brien is really good at the hosting with the uni student, but I just think that Comedy Central wasn't the right home for it. If it was on BBC Two, that would be fine. If it was on ITV, that would be that would be fine. But I think that it would work really well. The theme tune, do 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 that. I know it's Tom Little, the comedian, hilarious. I've interviewed him. He's very funny. He did a spoof of it where he talked about how it sounds like a sci-fi show. And I think that's what makes this more special, is that the element is very much sci-fi, even though the show itself isn't very sci-fi. And that's what I think that helps the show be born into the realm that the show was and is born into. The questions are always easier to answer than University Challenge. For definite, because the University Challenge is trying to be serious academics, and someone might be studying sociology or of the philosophical world of bioengineering and whatnot, and someone on Blockbusters will be studying like media or some subject that you're more likely to get the answers to the question for them, because you've not got like a really like science bloke that's gonna like win a Nobel Peace Prize in 10, 15 years trying to answer questions on University Challenge. And I think that some people say it's unfair having a team of 2 and a team of 1, but I think the team of 2 can't come first, so it's unlike, because it's still like 3 people playing by themselves, but they add up the points. The board itself, the graphics throughout every era of the show has stayed the same, which is a positive. I think that the angle and the way that the show works is having white and blue. I think that's what also makes this show work really well, because you don't just have the points, you have a image so that they can go strategically. So if you've got an S, they can strategically go with another letter that might be there, because then they might be able to connect it to the end that way, or connect it downwards. It depends on what really works for them in that moment, and I think that having the university students side of it as a show worked far better.
C, please.
C. What C is where you're sent and experience a very quiet time? Verity.
Coventry.
Coventry's right, yes.
That it did with adults in the limelight, because I think that adults, I've had enough. I've had their day on other quiz shows. I think Blockbusters was about, it was for the students. It meant that you come home and watch it. And there was a program on called, I think it was like the greatest game shows of all time, whatever, created by Sky, for Sky Max, that used to be Sky One, hosted by Catchphrases Roy Walker, and they had a segment about Blockbusters, and they talked about how it was for the university students at that time when on ITV. Is the main Bob Holderness is the main host they talk about, and most shows they make in the Comedy Central stuff, they make a big deal out of can I have a please, Pete? Can I have a P, please, Bob? They make a big deal out of that, and I don't think other versions really went down that route of making that a big deal, especially if Bob Holderness is hosting it, because that's his thing. They don't need to make a big deal out of it if he's hosting it. And I'm glad that he came back from the Sky for the Sky version. I'm just sad that they didn't do the whole of the Sky run, but Leave the Time was equally as good. But I just think that I think she's really funny. She's good in what she does. I just don't think Blockbusters was her format. I mean, her version of it was brilliant, but I just think that the reason why it had a downfall was I don't think that it was her format. And so, overall, I like Blockbusters for the question they're easy to answer, the show's easy to grasp. And there you go. That is the pilot episode for the YouTube series Game/Quiz Show World, or for the YouTube channel Game/Quiz Show World. I'll be talking about other international versions of Blockbusters in the future. Thank you guys for watching. Bye bye.